guest, Mr. Gareth Thomas of Westhaven Gold. The company just completed a $15 million bought deal, and I'm really excited to hear how he's planning to spend that money.
Well, today I'm Gareth Thomas. I'm the president and CEO of Westhaven Gold Corp. Today I'll be talking about our properties on the Spences Bridge Gold Belt in southwestern British Columbia. Nice picture there of our Shovelnose project there, not far from the South Zone. I will be making some forward-looking statements today, so please keep that in mind. Also, I'll be talking about mostly about our Shovelnose project, which is our flagship, where we discovered in 2018 17.7 meters at 24.5 grams per ton gold. And yeah, we've been following that up for now into 2020, as we're 2021 today, where we're still drilling around the area. We've now starting to connect the dots there, where we now got 4 kilometers of strike length along this vein zone 1 off a major highway. Coquihalla, you've been up there, very good access. We're about literally about 3 kilometers from the Coquihalla as a crow flies, so really second to none location. As mentioned there, we've continuing to hit more zones of mineralization. We've now, since last year, we've hit the FMN, the Franz, and the Lear zone. So 3 new areas of mineralization, which we'll be continuing. We're continuing to drill as we speak. We got 2 rigs drilling, 1 on FMN and 1 on the South Zone, which I'll touch on here shortly. Classic low sulfidation epithermal system, similar to the likes of Hishikari, Kupol, and Fruta del Norte. This year, we got about 40,000 meters planned for drilling. Last year, we drilled 43,000 meters. And as mentioned there, found 3 new significant zones of mineralization, which we're following up on as we speak. I won't dive too much into management here. I will just make note there, Peter Fischel, our exploration manager, spent a dozen years in Russia working for Kinross at Kupol through discovery days right through to production. So he's been a big influence and a big part of the team that's discovered this high-grade Shovelnose discovery. Today we're sitting at about 126 million fully outstanding shares. Insiders, we own about 25%. As mentioned there, we just raised bought deal 15 million. Today we're sitting at about 13 million in cash. 2 rigs drilling as we speak. So lots of exciting things on the horizon, lots of news upcoming as well. Potatoes here. Here's a look at the our properties on the Spences Bridge. The Spences Bridge Belt is a 110 kilometer long Cretaceous volcanic belt. You see our 4 properties there. Shovelnose, our flagship, down to the southwest. As you head up towards, the southeast, as you head up to the northwest, you'll see the Prospect Valley, Skunka Creek, and Skunka North. 35,000 hectares in total land, owned 100%. The remainder of that belt is being staked. 86% of that belt's been staked by a company called Talisker, a sort of a relationship with Talisker, where they staked that belt based on a CA we had signed with them, and they staked 190,000 hectares overnight in 2018, essentially giving them access to 220,000 hectares of land there. And because of that deal we did with Talisker, we have a 2.5% NSR on anything within a 5 kilometer radius on all 4 of our projects there. So that equates to about 70,000 hectares that we have a 2.5% NSR on with Talisker, and they're doing some great work. They got about 4 projects that are going to be ready to drill this year. So we're certainly excited to see what comes from that as well. I won't be touching too much on the projects here. We did some work on Prospect Valley last year, and we're ramping up to drill Skunka this year. So I'll touch on that near the end of the presentation here. You've obviously been up to the project that's looking north towards Merritt from the kind of the junction of where you get up to the Shovelnose. And our property, actually, you can't see it here, but our claims actually just graze up the side of the Coquihalla there. So it gives you a good idea for people that haven't been there, really the location of where we are. There's a look at the Shovelnose project itself, 2.5 hour drive from Vancouver. literally a 30-minute drive from Merritt, which is great for as we're drilling there now. And power line running right on the property. You see the big one to the north. We actually have one going right by the drill as we speak. Heavily logged, forested area, as you can see from the ortho photo there, which equates to sort of year-round exploration. As mentioned, we're drilling there now. We started February 4th. We ended December 15th. So yeah, nice place to work. And you'll take a look at our drilling costs there, which is a nice way to look at it there. For equates to really a good place to work. Unique advantage for us. There's a look at some of our highlights since 2018 up until 2020 there, where we announced just before Christmas the 5.5 meters of 4.58 grams at the 267 grams silver, I should add there, on the newly discovered FMN zone. So you look at this map here, you can see the south zone at the bottom, obviously the big bonanza grade as you head up towards the Franz, which was an outcrop discovered by prospecting late August, September of 2020. So very exciting on surface. We're getting up to 50 grams per ton on surface. Then of course we drilled that with a nice intercept, as you can see there, 7.78 meters of 14.84 grams per ton gold. Early days here, early days on FMN. We're drilling there as we speak. We're trying to connect the dots between the Franz and Forget-Me-Not, or FMN. And you have a better look there. You'll see the big gap between the Franz and FMN. That's where our drill is currently working as we head from FMN towards Franz. Seeing some very interesting things there. The key point here is in early 2018, or sort of halfway through the season before our big bonanza grade intercept, we were seeing things that were kind of similarly seen here, where you're close to something, but maybe not quite there in that bonanza grade. And Peter and our technical team, our geologists, great team, are seeing things kind of in similar fashion to what we're seeing in hole. For example, 1811, which was a 636 meter hole that had all the workings of what you'd expect to see below a vein zone, and we're starting to see that. We know it's at Franz. We see that on surface. It's completely open to the northwest. Let's get this next slide here. As you see there, a long section. So between that gap there, it's starting to shallow as we head towards Franz. So it's a nice, a big area, open area there that we think we're really excited to see what's between these two zones. And of course, it's open, as you can see there off to the left of your screen, northwest, as you head out of France. So yeah, we're very keen on this area. Then, as mentioned, we have another drill started on February 15th on the south zone. Sorry, Kyle, I'm not sure on time here. I don't happen to have I'm just looking for
you got 5 minutes. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, I want to leave some time for questions as well. So we have the second rig drilling on the south zone. As we mentioned in our last news release there, we are starting the process on a maiden resource for the south zone. So we've got the ball going there. So we're doing step out holes there to see the extent of the south zone. And so drilling some undercuts there and hitting some exciting things in terms of what we initially thought was maybe sort of a carrot-like zone that was kind of narrowing at depth. But what we're seeing there is kind of the opposite, and much to Peter's surprise, good surprise. He never likes to be wrong on his interpretations, but I think he was pleasantly surprised what we're seeing there on these 50-meter step outs. And I think people got to remember that when we discovered the south zone, we were doing 100-meter step outs, and we've never drilled closer. We've never drilled closer than 50 meters there. So it's still very much, ounces to be discovered there. And I should say ounces lightly there, as we don't have a resource, but now we're stepping out to the most westerly part of the zone and drilling down dip of these things. And we're seeing some interesting looking mineralization. So stay tuned on that. But, and here's a slide just showing, we did a lot of CSAMT surveying last year, and DC resistivity, did a lot of geophysics. We're combining all this with the prospecting, mapping, geophysics, LiDAR. We're combining all these tools to delineate targets, and we have hundreds of targets here still regionally on this project. We're just trying to to kind of piece them all together and come up with the best targets as possible. And obviously last year it was great, 3 new zones, and we're continuing to drill. Very, very much a drill bit story here, along with a maiden resource coming from the South Zone, which I think will be a good sort of piece of confidence for the company here moving forward. I mentioned Skunka earlier in the talk there. This was the first drill hole ever on this whole entire belt. And they drilled 12.8 meters at 20.2 grams per ton gold. And I believe their 5th hole there on Skunka, a total of 31 drill holes on this project, a little over 7,000 meters. Just to put that in perspective, we drilled 43,000 meters last year on Shovelnose. So this I think warrants a lot more drilling, and that's what we acquired this in 2018. 2017, and we're very keen to get there and drill this. So not to take away any resources from Shovelnose, but we're going to be putting a rig on here at some point this year to follow up on these. And Peter's done some great work there, Peter and the team, I should say. So we're keen to get to Skunka as well. So stay tuned for that as well. Just to look at our market cap here and where we think we could be, some low sulfidation, either projects or companies there, just to give people a little bit of, obviously somewhere we hope to, be somewhat in this range one day. At least some of these projects are things we kind of, for low sulfidation projects, it's some big ones there, Fruta del Norte, El Peñon, Ishikari, obviously Silvercrest of late has been quite the story. And yeah, I won't go through all these bullet points here, but the key thing is obviously fully financed now with the announcing of the $15 million bought deal that will keep us going here till well into 2022. Drill bit story, lots of exploration work going on. We're drilling as we speak, lots of news. We do have, I should touch on that, we do have news from final drill holes from 2020 will be out, I'd like to say any day now. We were on a blackout period there during the financing where we weren't receiving any assays. So we're receiving those now as we speak, and we should have something out, like I said, in the next couple of days on final assays from 2020. And we got holes in the lab now from this current year, which we're told the turnaround is much better than it was last year, where we were waiting. We've been waiting up to 3 months for assays, so we're told that's come down by a lot. We're looking about 28 days for turnaround now. So fingers crossed.
Not too bad actually, right? So that's 28 days is 4 weeks.
Yeah,
that's not bad for a lap turnaround, right? So we actually have only time for one question, unfortunately, Gareth.
Okay.
But and the question is about the financing. Like I know insiders hold a lot of stock in the company, so of course dilution is a topic that you like to address. Did you guys participate in the financing, the recent bought deal?
No, we weren't. No, I'll just leave it at that. We weren't able to.
Okay, no, fair enough. Because it was also a bought deal via. I think it was who brokered it.
Raymond James.
Raymond James. Okay, I was going to say BMO, but I knew I wasn't correct. So
yeah.
I'm going to actually ask you a follow-up question in the chat because I want to know like your budget for this year and how you're spending that money. Like where is it going? Shovelnose, Skunka. How are you splitting the money up? So stay on. I'll ask that question in the chat because we have to move on, unfortunately.
Okay.
Gareth,
well,
thanks so much for joining us.
Really
appreciate it. Can't wait to get back out of Shovelnose and Skunka.
Yeah.